People, something's showing up over there. Let me tell you guys. Luciano Huck is also in the mix there with Daniel Vorcaro and everything. It's a joke, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy Senior Huck. He also showed up as a lover there at Globo and all. Things are getting wild now in Globo's core, with all the big shots showing up. Those who did the L and supported all this atrocity that's happening here. Luciano Huck, look at that, mentioned at a dinner in exchange for messages. Remembering that this guy on his show took millions of reais from that Bank. Many people were left without support because it's another bank that was part of Banco Master, which ended up going bankrupt and all that. These are the personalities. These personalities right there. Hit that like button. We're going to show everything here. Smash that button and we'll keep you informed. Take the opportunity. Come join our family by subscribing to the channel. This bombshell came out early in the morning, right? So much is happening. We'll keep you informed. Look, in October 2024, Daniel Vorcaro sent a message to his girlfriend saying he was going to have dinner with the host Luciano Huck. Why? Luciano Huck, on his show, was sponsored by Bank. Look at the connections these personalities have. So, you understand, it's these kinds of people that put Brazil in this situation, thanks to characters like Luciano Huck, right? Who supported his show just recently, right? When Barroso asked to leave the Supreme Federal Court, he went there and made a dedication to Luiz Roberto Barroso for his services to our nation. Look at those services. They contributed. Look at that. Besides members of the political world, Daniel Vorcaro mentioned having dinner with Luciano Huck in a message exchange with his fiancée. Well, ex-fiancée, right? Marta Graef. The mention of Huck was made in a conversation between the owner of Banco Master and his ex-girlfriend when the bank was already showing signs of liquidity problems. He even asked Huck for help, right? Remember that everything these people like Luciano Huck have in life, all this good life, luxurious billionaire status and all, comes from our taxes, my friends. Since when he worked at Bandeirantes. Remember when he bought the private jet financed by Banco Nacional de Desenvolvimento Econômico e Social? Look at that. While we have to go there and do 1,000 tricks, if you finance a car, you basically pay double. These guys don't. Just be friends with the powerful. Imagine, we have to finance a private jet for Luciano Huck too. It's shamelessness without limits from these people, okay? In a message sent to his fiancée, Vorcaro says he's leaving the bank and going to have dinner with Luciano Huck. He asks about his ex-fiancée's work and so on. "I'm leaving the bank now, my dear, to have dinner with Huck," wrote the banker. "I'm still here, still recording. For some brand over there, right? Huck was even a spokesperson. Look, the spokesperson for Bank, which was controlled by Banco Master." The host had, in a segment of his Sunday show, sponsored by Daniel Vorcaro's company. The artist also considered, together with a group of investors, buying Bank. Luciano Huck wanted to buy Vorcaro's bank. The attempt to sell the bank was one of Vorcaro's bets to solve Master's liquidity problem. He was desperate, look at that. The amount needed for guarantees from the Credit Guarantee Fund since last November was approaching 50 billion. The amount refers to the reimbursement of Banco Master clients. Master from Will Financeira, known as Bank. The financial institutions had extrajudicial liquidation decreed by the central bank. All of it here. And these Globo characters, friends of these people, who did all this atrocity with our... And who's going to pay the price for all of this? For all this barbarity? Guess who? It's us. It's us. There you see. You pay people like this guy here, look, who also doesn't have a shred of shame with Brazilian society. Remember when he went out defending the clients on his show against the police? You pay him over there at Globo. Through advertising funds, millions. You pay the guy over there when he gets advertising companies to sponsor his show over there, like Vorcaro's Bank. And then you pay again the loss they caused. In other words, he went there and sold you Cuyabem, which was the best bank in the world. So you would open an account at Vorcaro's bank. Open an account there. Open your account at Vorcarinho's bank and all that. The bank left thousands of people in a tough situation. A really tough situation. Now it's broke. The Credit Guarantee Fund will... It's right there, look, in a really complicated situation. Who else? I said it here. Whoever has more than 250,000 is out, won't get it. You'll only get up to... And that's if you're lucky. And that's if you're lucky, okay? So, look, we have to pay for all these problems that these people end up leaving here for Brazilians to cover all their nonsense. That dinner there is expensive for Brazilian society, and it's seen as the best thing around. The person, right? Kind. The guy who does absolutely everything for Brazilians. These people who criticized President Bolsonaro, and that's what I'm showing you. Take a look. With Bolsonaro, look. While the Brazilian Republic wallows in the gutter, Bolsonaro emerges clean, from clear and transparent waters. Claudinha put it here, look. Just like his government was, clean, transparent, and straightforward. There's no way not to think of him right now. It's here. Bolsonaro has a stain on his name. A stain, which is being called anti-democratic and so on. Now we know that he was the anti-democratic one. He respected the press. He was there at every moment, just like Tsukinya says here. The wrong way of asking or answering can cause friction. Unfortunately, the press decided to close the doors to someone who was always willing to talk. The president was always willing to talk. Ask Globo if they ever gave him space. Because it's obvious, right? And he used to warn them. He warned them. He always did. Look here. One of President Bolsonaro's last words as president.
Atypical transactions. Alexandre de Moraes, show the value of the transactions. Have some character. Show the value of the transactions. It's just an attempt to wear me down. That's very clear, Alexandre de Moraes. My wife doesn't have a law office. Show the truth. You're helping to bury Brazil for personal reasons. I don't know what they are, but it's personal. You guys put a drunkard in there. To run Brazil, a guy with no sense of responsibility, who has a trail of corruption, a trail of mockery toward Brazilian families, attacking priests, pastors, attacking the armed forces, attacking the police. Do you think this is going to work out?
He always warned us, right? He always warned us. And more dirt keeps coming out about this Vorcaro, Globo's crew, and all that. Just so you know, for someone to hate President Bolsonaro, it couldn't be anything good. Just look at that. When President Bolsonaro released the tweets from Caixa's managers, who were fired because they didn't send 500 million to his bank and all that, which made Vorcaro furious. Look at this. While he hated Bolsonaro, he loved Lula. Look at that. While with Lula and the ministers, it was great. It was great to meet. And on Globo itself, okay? And imagine the situation, my friends. Look at what showed up there. Another Globo actress here, look. Daniel Vorcaro saved the contact of the actress Monique Afradix, supposedly his lover, as Alan Information Technology, right? Like information technology. So no one would suspect, right? In this case, his ex-fiancée and all. Look at that. And she was there asking him for explanations about the news that was coming out. I already found out. Then he says here, if you want to go by gossip, he forgot the name, but said it's a blonde girl. He only goes for blondes. He said that he hired about 80 models for this party. Then he replies, so believe the gossip. The guy was insatiable. He's going to drag everyone down with him, and it's funny. Everyone, absolutely everyone. Those who didn't like President Bolsonaro, there you go. That's the situation they're in. It's impressive. With each passing day, things become much clearer. A man who fought for everyone's rights in this country, right? Going through these atrocities because of people like that one there. The so-called good guys, right? The clean ones. And look, my friends, how long have we been supporting their good life, right? Because that's how it is. Their machine works like that. First, they make money through these programs they create. They build empires, real empires, with public money, because the government is always sponsoring them. Then, instead of giving something back to society, helping the people and all that, no. What do? They invest in businesses, more businesses, with the money they made from us. Then the losses, all those atrocities they committed, end up falling on us too. And we keep being made fools of, right? In the hands of those people. Good thing everything is coming to light and now everyone knows who's who. For Metropolis, you're bringing Hulk into this now. Mentioning the dinner and everything else. I imagine more things still won't show up, okay? And that's a fact. There you go. Do you think Luciano Huck will explain anything? I doubt it, and I feel sorry. Share this video on WhatsApp, Telegram, or Facebook. Like and subscribe to join our family. I'll return soon with more updates on Pais e Filhos, Fabiano Guiguet.